On her very first day with a driver's license, Anastasia Steele, or Anna as she preferred to be called, nervously hit the road for work and ended up rear-ending a sleek Porsche Cayenne. The damage wasn't catastrophic, but it was a Cayenne after all, a symbol of the luxury lifestyle she could only dream of. Heart pounding, she pulled over, set up her warning triangle, and watched as the driver stepped out with long, confident strides. It was Christian Grey, her billionaire CEO boss, the possessive husband type in every rumor, known around the office as the cold-faced king of the underworld. His presence exuded an obsessive alpha male aura, with dark romance swirling around his mafia boss-like reputation. Handsome, wealthy, built like a god, yet his "don't approach me" vibe created a low-pressure zone that suffocated anyone within 3 meters. Anna had been at the company for just over 2 months, steering clear of him like everyone else. Female colleagues had thrown themselves at him before, only to bail within days. Now she'd crashed into his car. What a way to make an impression. Mortified, she calculated the compensation costs in her head, tears welling up. But Christian barely glanced at the damage. Instead, he grabbed her hand urgently, pulling her into his Cayenne without explanation. They sped off, his tense expression silencing her questions. Soon, they arrived at a hospital, where a crowd surrounded an elderly man on a bed, his grandfather clinging to life. Christian introduced Anna as his girlfriend, pinching her shoulder gently to cue her. She played along, greeting the grandfather warmly, who nodded with relief. He then presented her to the family elders, and she pieced it together: the old man was dying, his last wish to see his grandson settled. Christian, the billionaire CEO with no real partner, had roped her in to fulfill this marriage of convenience, this forced marriage scenario straight out of an enemies to lovers tale. Considering the Cayenne mishap, she decided to perform flawlessly. She greeted an elegant woman as Auntie, who held her hand gratefully. Anna reached for Christian's hand, attempting to interlace fingers, but felt him stiffen slightly. She switched to a pat, calling him by a pet name for authenticity, earning a cryptic glance from him. Quickly, he gripped her hand naturally, their fingers locking in a way that sent warmth through her. The family watched with approving smiles, though the hospital setting kept things brief. Afterward, Christian drove her back, his handsome profile bubbling with intensity under the city lights. Hesitant, Anna brought up the accident, but he stopped the car, turning to her seriously. He proposed marriage, or rather, a fake one to ease his grandfather's passing. Not real, just a ceremony for peace. Sensing her hesitation, he offered $10 million upon completion. Stunned, she agreed instantly. That sum could change her life. They sealed the fake marriage deal like a business transaction, with Anna promising to act as his girlfriend before his family until the end. In the office, they'd maintain normalcy to avoid gossip. He shrugged indifferently at the idea of continuing the act at work, but she shuddered at the thought of colleagues' prying eyes. He extended a hand for a handshake, sealing their happy cooperation. Anna, dazed, assured him she'd meet any requirements. With a faint smile in his eyes, he allowed her to call him by an intimate name, referencing her earlier slip. Flustered, she admired his flawless features: smooth skin, deep eyes, perfect jawline radiating elegance and power. But his usual icy demeanor made her shiver. She couldn't bring herself to use it yet. The crash topic slipped her mind amid the distraction. Back at the office, colleagues eyed them curiously as they entered together. Christian ascended to his floor coldly, while Anna returned to her desk. Her co-worker pulled her aside, gossiping about their arrival, but Anna confessed the rear-end incident, earning sympathetic looks. Word spread like wildfire. Everyone knew Christian as the grumpy sunshine blocker, the touch-her-and-I protector in stories. She messaged him about not needing rides to avoid suspicion, but he insisted on waiting until others left, turning her into an overtime worker unwillingly. Cleverly, she mentioned heavy workload implying late hours, hoping to impress the billionaire CEO. He agreed, and said he'd wait. Cursing her luck as a trial period employee, Anna ended up in his Cayenne again that evening. She reported her address. He drove silently. Anxious, she hinted at the car's repair to dodge future rides, damaging his image. He hummed, planning to switch to a Rolls-Royce tomorrow, assuring no tardiness. Her mind raced, not about lateness, but the hassle of his possessive husband routine. He nodded, agreeing it was troublesome, but only for 2 days. Confused, she asked why. At a red light, he turned the wedding was in 3 days. She'd live with him afterward. The age gap, the forced proximity, it screamed dark romance. 3 days later, Anna stood in a wedding gown in a grand hall, life feeling surreal. Christian had handled everything friends, family, venue. He'd even visited her parents, closeting with them for an hour. They emerged beaming, urging her along. Shocked, she questioned if he'd revealed the truth. He evaded vaguely. Surveying the roses, the guests, his side and hers. Everything seemed perfect except her role in this sham. The officiant proceeded flawlessly. Post-ceremony, his mother presented an heirloom jade pendant, a family treasure symbolizing acceptance as the DeSantis bride. Anna hesitated. This was fake, but Christian placed it around her neck himself, amid thunderous applause. Overwhelmed, she wondered how to unravel this when exposed. Reality pressed on. Christian pulled her into toasts, whispering reassurance to follow his lead. His poise eased her nerves. But he halted abruptly before a stunning woman in a shoulder-bearing gown, his university goddess, now a poised executive. She smiled at him warmly. He pulled Anna forward, interlacing fingers tightly, returning the greeting coolly. The wedding ended. They returned to the family estate, a sprawling Italian villa that screamed luxury lifestyle, far beyond Anna's imagination. Poverty had limited her dreams, she thought. His mother fussed warmly, urging her to feel at home. Living with his parents meant sharing a room, no separate beds. Exhausted from the day, Anna soaked in a luxurious bath in their penthouse-like suite, fantasizing about the 10 million. Thoughts drifted to the goddess at the banquet, elegant, fitting for him. Emerging, she found Christian by the window, shirt unbuttoned at the top, exposing tantalizing chest, looking lazy yet melancholic, dominant and sexy. He gazed outside, lost in thought. Swallowing hard, she cleared her throat. He acknowledged her bath was done without turning. Curiosity won. She asked about his past with the woman. His eyes met hers, teasing they were from the same school. She knew of her, but not vice versa. He turned away, staring at stars, then admitted softly first love. Excitement bubbled in Anna, gossip confirmed. Rumors from college matched the goddess had dated a heartthrob from another school, clearly him. Before she could probe, he announced his shower, brushing past. Alone, reality hit sharing a bed with this obsessive alpha male. Embarrassment flooded her. Scrolling phone absent-mindedly, she heard the door. Christian emerged with just a towel around his waist, broad shoulders, long legs, narrow hips, water droplets tracing abs. Heart racing, she averted eyes as he explained forgetting pajamas. She mumbled it was fine, flipping away. He lay beside her, asking to turn off lights. She nodded frantically, darkness fell. Good night exchanged, his voice husky, seductive. Surprisingly, his steady breathing lulled her to sleep. She dreamed of chasing a veiled demoness as a warrior, cornering her in a cave. The veil fell, Christian's face, his voice tempting with 10 million, hand on his waist feeling hard abs. So real, she awoke touching his actual abs. He watched her sideways. Fun? He asked. Mortified, she greeted good morning casually, withdrawing hand, sitting up. She'd crowded him in sleep. Apologizing for her habits, he shrugged it off, even joking about the little demon dream words and her pouts. Coughing, she explained sleep haze. He smiled, calling it a perk. They dressed in the walk-in closet filled with Cartier accessories and Van Cleef jewelry, ate breakfast downstairs, then visited grandfather. His mother apologized for the rushed wedding, no honeymoon due to health. Anna waved it off warmly, calling her mom, earning delight. Christian drove her to work in his Maybach, dropping early to avoid eyes. At her desk, a co-worker rushed in a big project with New Horizons Group needed materials. Entering the meeting room, Anna froze. The rep was the goddess, elegant and knowing. The manager greeted warmly. The woman noted their quick reunion, startling Anna. Fearing exposure of the marriage of convenience, she excused herself hastily, pulling co-worker out. Outside, questions flew. How did she know the heiress? Anna admitted university connection. Co-worker gossiped she and Christian had dated, perfect match, wondering if they'd reunite on this project. Anna's morning joy soured inexplicably. Soon, her supervisor, with a grudge from hiring drama, favoring a relative but overruled by Christian, called her in. Berating her for vacation troubles despite pre-completed work and approved leave, he piled on extra tasks, unfinished projects to redo overnight. Anna reminded him of circumstances, but he threatened her job. Pitying his pettiness, she took the stack, thinking darkly things changed now. Co-workers sympathized, seeing it as pushing her out. At lunch, gossip swirled the secretary absent for project lunch with Christian and the heiress. Speculation on rekindling. Anna's heart twisted. Co-worker revealed overhearing Secretary Christian wore a wedding ring, married. Shocked exclamations. Anna feigned surprise, inwardly cursing. He'd forgotten her reminder to remove it. Messaging him urgently to take it off, he replied, seen, too late. Colleagues envied the mysterious wife, praising his billionaire CEO allure, massive diamond. Anna laughed awkwardly along, secret burning. Afternoon flew. At quitting time, alone with the pile, she messaged Christian for rescue. No reply. Dejected, she started. Footsteps approached. Christian, heading her way. Surprised, she stood. He glanced coolly. Indignant, she detailed supervisor's sabotage, showing redundant files. He flipped through, agreeing, then sat to help. Stunned, not the bailout she expected. He sighed at her know-how article fantasies of dramatic firings. Biting lip, she joined, glaring inwardly. 3 hours later, done, he suggested dinner. Expecting five-figure luxury, he chose a modest Cantonese spot, praising their lobster bisque. Odd for him, but delicious, she devoured hungrily. He paused mid-bite. Anna turned. The heiress approached, coincidental. Christian stood, expression shifting. She reminisced about frequent visits here, loving the lobster, his recommendation. Food lost flavor for Anna. The woman asked to join. Christian declined politely. They'd finished, pulling Anna out abruptly. Glancing back, the woman stood forlorn. Silence homeward. Anna asked if all was well. He denied issues sternly. Her stomach growled, dinner unfinished. Home, staff asleep, too tired to cook. He noticed her stillness, asking thoughts. Hungry, she admitted. Sighing helplessly, he made noodles. Scent odd, taste worse. She deadpanned good, but never again. Next morning, she woke in his arms again, both calmer. Puzzled by her restless sleep here. Breakfast done, she dropped files on supervisor's desk. He gaped at completion. Coolly, she noted his no leave without finish rule. Turning, she saw manager and heiress at elevator, project details lingering. Co-worker whispered frequent visits spelled danger, possible affair. Anna agreed silently, jealousy brewing in this enemies to lovers twist. The heiress left early. Afternoon, supervisor and HR approached. Nearing 3 months, HR noted Christian praised her file organization from archives, offering assistant role. Eyes lit his plan to extract her discreetly. Accepting joyfully, but twist, Christian mandated all past projects redone similarly. Supervisor handling personally under her guidance, thousands of files. Supervisor paled, trembling. HR encouraged, citing his talent in training her. Anna stifled laughter revenge via his own methods. Co-workers helped move her to top-floor desk outside his office, begging gossip. She promised. Knocking, entering, he asked what. Thanking him shyly for help, he stared, asking how. Stumped, she offered anyway. He smirked, undecided, dismissing her. Uneasy, she settled in. Project with heiress dragged. Daily visits surprised her, but busy work left no time for chat. Days blurred in fatigue. One late night, Christian took her dining, then home. Yawning in car, he noted tiredness. She nodded drowsily. Waking in his arms on villa sofa, not car, Had he carried her princess style? Apologizing sleepily, atmosphere charged, she averted eyes, heart thumping. He fetched water, ear tips red, mutual awkwardness. Gulping it, he suggested her bath first. In tub, cool water calmed flushed face. But mind raced, did she like this possessive husband? Shaking head, no, worlds apart plus the X. Project finalized. Eris arrived for signing. Assisting, she requested printed docs, Anna fetched. Returning, overheard tearful voice he'd found her. Peeking, saw embrace, he standing, her hugging from behind, crying. They separated at Anna's entry. She apologized. Christian, face cold, grabbed her hand, storming out. Glancing back, Eris sobbed. Echoing restaurant scene, twice now. Through shocked office stairs, he emanated cold aura, untouchable. To car buckle up. Obeying, fearing outburst. Engine started, stopped. He turned angrily, why not ask about her? Should she? He demanded, frustrated. Why? To avoid misunderstanding. Heart leaped. Did he dislike the ex? Like her instead? She prompted. He explained 3 years ago, Lake Fall. Girl saved him. Conscious vaguely, heard name with Exion, university office duty. Recovered, found matching woman, thought her. Dated but discovered wrong, split. Closer now, gaze hungry, it was you, right? Memories flooded summer break. Rushing for duty shift, saw drowning man, jumped in, saved. Left office contact hastily. Yes, her. High point, even on resume. He'd recognized at interview. Hired fairly, but pursued separately. Was this confession? He confirmed, voice aggrieved. Grinning, she accepted reluctantly. He lunged, lips crashing in passionate kiss. Tearing at edges of restraint, hint of punishment in grip, dominant over submissive. Flash interrupted, coworker with phone shocked. Apologizing for checking on them. Christian pondered, Anna begged secrecy, fearing office chaos. 5 minutes later, group chat exploded, shocking photo of their kiss. Cold King Net's colorful little wife. Coworker accidentally sent. Anna messaged accusation, no reply. Christian drove to City Hall. Red books in hand, photos affixed. What started as absurd fake became real. She's mine. Every breath she takes belongs to me. In the opulent New York penthouse overlooking the skyline, with floor-to-ceiling windows reflecting city lights like diamonds, Christian Grey, the billionaire CEO and possessive husband, reflected on chasing his little wife. Once a bike brake failed, plunging him into a lake. Forgetting he could swim, he flailed until Anna saved him, mermaid-like, vanishing without trace. Searching by clues led to mistake the wrong woman, who didn't deny. They dated. She fit perfectly, looks, status, but not love. Split when truth emerged. She accused him of naivety, seeking fun than suitable match. He countered awaiting love. Grandfather urged marriage, his dying wish. Parents consoled wait for fate. Second encounter at interview Anna, resume noting rescue. Fate. He observed her growth, habit forming. Grandfather's crisis, en route her crash, destiny. Pulled her to hospital, proposed fake wedding for time to win her. First tactic money, 10 million hooked her. Goal day-by-day affection in this marriage of convenience. Second jealousy, mentioned ex at wedding, no reaction. Third seduction, towel only post-shower, close sleeps. Effective. Learned her bully, avenged via project overload. Surprised she read know-how CEO tales. He studied overnight, mastering obsessive alpha male moves. Promoted her nearby. Ex pushed reconciliation, he ignored. Felt Anna's budding like stairs, post-Princess Carrie. Final day ex hugged, crying for reunion, Anna saw. Panicked clarification led to confession. Success. Kiss interrupted. She begged secrecy. He messaged coworker to leak photo. No underground romance. Rushed to bureau, married for real.